All ladies and gentlemen, they call me Eduardo. Hey God, Africa don't they make me get joy. Now the president of North Korea wrote a beautiful letter to Ibrahim Traore. I don't want to talk too much. I want you to sit back, listen to the content of this letter, and listen to the conversation between Ibrahim Traore and the president of North Korea. This is not like the era of the Westerners, the US, the French government trying to milk and suck Africa dry. Now it is business upon business, partnership upon partnership, relationship upon relationship. Now Ibrahim Traore has opened the eyes of all the African presidents, though to those that want to listen and to those that want their country to grow. He has opened their eyes. Now listen to the contents of this letter, and as you listen, share and comment your opinion. God bless you.
One quiet morning, President Ibrahim Traore was sitting in his office, working on some important papers. His assistant entered the room, holding a thick envelope. The envelope was different from the usual letters he received. It was heavy and marked with strange, unfamiliar symbols. "Mr. President," the assistant said, handing it over. "This letter just arrived. It's from North Korea." Traore raised an eyebrow. North Korea? He had never had any communication with them before. His fingers slowly opened the envelope. Inside was a letter, written in neat, strong handwriting. It was from none other than Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea. As he read the letter, Traore was shocked. The letter began with words of admiration. "Dear President Traore," the letter started, "I have been watching your rise with great interest. You are not only a leader, but a symbol of power and dignity for all of Africa. In these times, when the West seeks to control and divide nations, you have stood strong, defying their pressures. I respect you for your courage and determination." Traore paused. Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, admired him? He read the words again, trying to understand what it meant. The letter continued. "I believe Burkina Faso, under your leadership, is a shining example for the African continent. Your efforts to fight against foreign control and your desire for independence inspire me. You are a true leader, and North Korea wishes to offer you our support in your struggle for power and peace. We see in you a kindred spirit. Together, we can break free from the chains of the West." The letter was more than just a message. It was an offer. Kim Jong-un was offering his support. He promised military aid, advanced technology, and help to strengthen Burkina Faso's independence. Traore felt a mixture of emotions. He was honored that someone like Kim Jong-un saw him as an ally. But at the same time, he was cautious. What did North Korea want in return? What would this mean for his country? The letter ended with a powerful statement. "If you accept our support, we will be by your side in the fight for Africa's future. The West will not control us, not any longer. I believe together we can create a new path for Africa and the world. I look forward to hearing from you." Traore sat back in his chair, the letter still in his hands. The weight of what Kim Jong-un had written was heavy. Could he trust this man? Was this the chance he had been waiting for, to free Burkina Faso from the control of Western powers? Or was this just another trap? He knew one thing for sure. His life and the future of Burkina Faso were about to change forever. A few days later, a tall man in a sharp suit arrived at the presidential palace in Ouagadougou. He introduced himself as an envoy from North Korea, sent to meet with President Ibrahim Traore. The man was calm, yet there was an intensity about him that made Traore uneasy. He spoke with a quiet confidence, as if the weight of history was on his shoulders. "I bring a message from Kim Jong-un," the envoy said. "He has great respect for your leadership and your vision for Burkina Faso. He believes that together we can build a strong, independent future, free from foreign control." Traore listened closely, his mind racing. Was this really a chance to break free from Western influence? Or was it a dangerous game he was being drawn into? The envoy continued, Kim Jong-un sees the strength in your leadership. He knows the world is watching you. This is why North Korea is offering you more than just support. We are offering you military aid, technology to advance your country, and an alliance that will give you the power to stand against any force that seeks to undermine you. Traore's heart beat faster. The offer was tempting, but it felt like a gamble. Burkina Faso had always struggled with foreign interference. The West had their eyes on his country, and now North Korea was offering help. But what would they want in return? What were the true consequences of accepting this help? Your country's future is in your hands, the envoy said, his eyes locked with Traore's. The West is already making plans to remove you from power, and they will try to crush Burkina Faso's independence. But North Korea will be your ally, no matter what. We will provide the resources and protection you need to defend your people. Traore sat back in his chair, absorbing the words. The stakes had never been higher. He knew the West was watching closely, and they wouldn't let him make this decision without consequences. But the thought of being free from their control, of being able to lead Burkina Faso without fear, was powerful. I understand the risks, Traore said finally, his voice steady. But what do you ask of me in return? What does North Korea want from Burkina Faso? The envoy smiled, but it was a cold smile, one that hinted at a deeper meaning. We ask for nothing but your loyalty, he replied. In return, we will stand with you, against the West, against any forces that try to break your country. Together, we can create a new world order, a world where African nations are not controlled by foreign powers. The words hung in the air like a promise and a threat. Traore knew this was not just about Burkina Faso anymore. This was about Africa, about standing against a history of exploitation and control. But the question remained, could he trust Kim Jong-un? And if he did, what kind of future was he walking into? As the envoy left the room, Traore stared out of the window, lost in thought. The letter from Kim Jong-un had been just the beginning. Now he was faced with a choice that could change the course of history for Burkina Faso, and for himself. Could he afford to say no to such a powerful offer? Or would he risk everything to fight for the independence he had always dreamed of? The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Whatever choice he made, it would define his legacy. Days passed, and the pressure on President Ibrahim Traore grew heavier. The offer from Kim Jong-un had not faded from his mind, and every decision he made seemed to lead him back to that fateful question. Should he accept North Korea's help, or would the consequences be too great? The United States had not been silent either. A high-ranking U.S. official, an envoy named Robert Mitchell, arrived in Burkina Faso unexpectedly. He requested a private meeting with Traore. When the two met in the presidential palace, the tension in the room was thick. Mitchell was known for his sharp mind and even sharper tactics. He wasted no time in getting to the point. President Traore, Mitchell said, his voice calm but firm, we are aware of your discussions with North Korea. I want to make it clear that if you continue down this path, the consequences for Burkina Faso will be severe. The United States will not stand by and let a leader with ties to North Korea destabilize Africa. Traore felt a knot tighten in his stomach. The threats had begun. He had expected this, but hearing it from the U.S. directly made it feel real, immediate. You're trying to control us, Traore responded quietly, but with a force that surprised even himself. Africa has suffered long enough under your thumb. We want to stand on our own, free from foreign influence. Mitchell raised an eyebrow. You don't understand the full consequences of your actions, do you? The West will isolate Burkina Faso. Trade deals, aid, and diplomatic relations will disappear. And if you continue with this alliance with North Korea, your government will face internal unrest. We will ensure it. Traore stared at the U.S. envoy, weighing his options. He had known that this moment would come, but hearing the threats from Mitchell only made the stakes clearer. The U.S. had the power to crush Burkina Faso economically. But Traore couldn't ignore the promise from Kim Jong-un. North Korea's support could mean survival, but what price would he pay for that help? "We're not afraid of your threats," Traore said finally. "Burkina Faso will not be controlled by anyone." Mitchell didn't respond immediately. Instead, he leaned forward, lowering his voice. "You think this is about power, don't you? It's about something bigger than that. Security. The West wants stability, and if you refuse to stand with us, you'll make a dangerous enemy. Don't let your pride destroy your country." The words hung in the air. Traore felt the weight of them, but deep inside, he knew he couldn't back down. His people had elected him to lead them,